Why do rich people just keep getting richer while the rest of us are out here grinding 40, 50, 60 hours a week? Is it because they're smarter, work harder, have some secret strategy? Nope, it's way more boring than that. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what they do and why it's not nearly as complicated as the finance gurus want you to think. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Wealthy people don't sell their assets. They live off the income those assets generate. Think of it like this. Most people, they plant a tree, wait for it to grow, then cut it down and sell the wood. They get cash once, and then the tree's gone. Rich people, they plant the tree, let it grow, and just collect the apples every year, forever. They never touch the tree itself. That's the entire game. The tree is your investment. The apples are your dividends, your interest, your returns. And the goal isn't to get rich quick, it's to build a tree so big that you can live off the apples and never have to work again. Boring, right? But it works. Okay, before you go opening a brokerage account, we need to talk about debt. Because if you've got high interest debt, I'm talking credit cards, payday loans, anything over 9 or 10%, you need to deal with that first. Here's why. The stock market historically returns about 7 to 10% per year. Sounds great, right? But if you've got a credit card charging you 20% interest, you're literally losing money faster than you can make it. Paying off a 20% credit card is a 20% return. That's better than any stock. That's better than real estate. That's a guaranteed win. So stop trying to fill the bucket when there's a hole in the bottom. Plug the hole first, then we invest. All right, let's talk about dividends because this is where it gets fun. When you buy stock in a company, you literally own a piece of that company. It's tiny, like microscopic, but it's yours. Let's say you buy shares in Pepsi. Every time someone buys a soda, a bag of chips, a Gatorade, Pepsi makes money. And if they have a good quarter, they take some of that profit and send it to their shareholders. That's you. That's a dividend. It's like getting a little paycheck just for owning the stock. Now imagine you own enough dividend-paying stocks that those little paychecks add up to $2,000 a month. That's your rent, your groceries, your utilities. You didn't have to work for it. You didn't have to sell anything. You just owned it. That's the goal. Live off the fruit, never touch the tree. Let me show you something that might hurt a little, but it's important. The average person in America spends about $700 to $900 on a car payment. Let's say $800. Now, I'm not saying don't buy a car, but let me show you what that $800 could turn into. If you invested that $800 a month into the stock market, averaging 10% annual returns, you'd have $870,000 in 30 years. Let me say that again, $870,000. That's not from being a genius, that's not from timing the market. That's just from driving a boring car and putting the difference to work. Now, maybe you do need a reliable vehicle. Cool. But do you need a $60,000 truck? Or could you make do with a $10,000 used sedan and invest the rest? Because here's the thing. The truck loses value every single year. The investment, it grows. I'm not saying live like a monk. I'm saying choose your sacrifices wisely. Because every dollar you spend today is a dollar that can't work for you tomorrow. Okay, real talk. The beginning sucks. You're putting in $500 a month, and after 6 months, you look at your account and it's like $3,200. You're thinking, this is it? This is what everyone's hyping up? Yeah, because compounding takes time. But here's the secret. It gets easier. Let's say you're saving $1,000 a month. The first $20,000 takes you about 19 months to hit. Cool, but the second $20,000, that only takes 17 months. Why? Because now your money is helping you. Your investments are earning dividends. They're growing. They're compounding. You're not doing it alone anymore. That's the momentum. The first 10,000 feels impossible. The first 100,000 feels like a dream. But once you hit 100,000, the next 100,000 happens way faster, because at that point, your money is making more money than you are. That's when it clicks. That's when you stop feeling like you're pushing the boulder and you start feeling like you're riding it. Look, I know this all sounds slow, boring, unsexy. You're not going to retire in 6 months. You're not going to buy a Lambo next year.
And if someone's telling you that you can, they're selling you something. But here's what you can do. You can start today with $50, with $20. It doesn't matter, because the habit is more important than the amount. Once you start seeing that number go up, once you get your first dividend payment, something changes. You start to believe it's possible. And that belief, that's what keeps you going. There's an old saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you have more money, more knowledge, more time. Just plant the tree. Your future self will thank you. If this video helped you, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below with your biggest investing question. I read every single one. And remember, boring wins. Let's build some trees.